I'm going to show you a sample of creating a quote burger paragraph using an article from Dave Ellis's Becoming a Master Student. This is the 13th edition I am using, and I actually spoke with Dave Ellis, and he said to pass this information along. He is very generous with his ideas, and he says there are many wonderful editions. So I strongly encourage you to find an old edition, get a cheap one, use this as a tool for helping you grow and learn the skills that you need to be successful in college and really successful in life. So we are using a couple of these articles as samples. Right now in particular, I have the chapter, I think it's from chapter 1. This whole book is kind of divided up like a magazine and is really visually appealing. This little article is 2 pages. It's called The Value of Higher Education. And one thing you may notice about the title is that it does not follow the rules for titles for academic writing. So make sure when you write the title of the article, any article you use for your research in this class, go ahead and capitalize all the significant words, and the first word and the last word. So the is not really a significant word, but it's the first one, so capitalize it. And then the V here, the of can stay lowercase. It's simply a preposition, so not a significant word to the meaning of the title. And then capitalize H and the E in education. So the first thing you're going to do is read your article. Read it once, just all the way through, just to get a basic idea of what you're looking for. And then you want to read again, looking for a quotation that you can use that will help you say something meaningful about the topic presented in the article, or whatever topic you're researching for these initial paragraphs that we are using to learn how to use sources that we integrate in our body paragraphs. We are really just going to go with whatever topic relates to the articles that we are using for practice. And so I read this article more than once, and then I landed on a quotation that I thought really was meaningful about the value of higher education and how it relates to jobs in particular. And even though the quote relates to jobs, I ended up writing about it in a way that relates to interpersonal relationships or just having a better life in general. So when I'm ready to write my paragraph after I've found my quotation that I want to use, and you're going to find your own, this is not the exact article you are using most likely, go to the Wallace State homepage, click on your little orange dot here to open Office 365. This is a free service for you. You can work in Google Docs, basically. This is Microsoft Online. You are going to open a document by hitting the plus sign here, open document, and you are using Word Online here. Then you want to set up your document. You want to first write your name, and then you want to write your instructor's name. In this case, you can just write my last name, that's fine. You're hitting enter one time between all of these, only one time. We're going to set up the spacing and the font in a moment. Then after you have written your name and my name, you're going to write the class, and then the due date for the assignment, whatever your due date happens to be. And if you are using MLA format, as you will for all of your English classes, you will write the date this way with the day, month, and year. There are no commas. Notice that. This will be a question on your final exam, by the way. You want to know what goes in the heading and how do you write that date. Do you have commas in there? No, you do not. Do you write day, month, and year, spell the month out? Yeah, that's how it goes. So make sure that you know this for the final exam. So there's one question for you. You can remember to the end of the class, and you need it for every writing assignment as well. So, as I promised, I'm going to show you how to change the font. It's up here. Change it to Times New Roman every time, 12 point. Then we need to change the spacing, which is over here, these 3 dots. If you're using Microsoft Online, hover over line spacing, hit 2, go back to the same place because now our lines are a little too far apart. Something that only English teachers can see, but it still counts. You want to have exactly double spaced, so you need to click remove space after paragraph. Oops, I hit add space. Sorry about that. So now I've got 2 things to click. If either of these say remove, I need to click them. I have to go back every time and click remove. So if they both say add, I'm in good shape. Okay? So it should be 2, and there should be no extra space before or after the paragraphs. Now, notice when my cursor went back here, my font went back to what it was. So I'm going to put my cursor back where the date ends and then hit enter. Notice my font stayed the same. Then I want to center a title, and then I will go ahead and just type in the quotation that I used. And I put together a sample for you here so that you didn't have to watch all that. Oh yes, and I left my sample where I could show you one more time how to take care of your font. Font over here, font in the upper left, and then spacing in the upper right. So 12 point Times New Roman, that's the font. Now our spacing to the right, line spacing 2, and then check for that extra space in line spacing. See, the bottom one says remove, so I need to click that. And see how it shrunk up a little? That's what you want. You want it spaced just like this. Notice there is no extra line space before the title or after the title. So center the title of your writing assignment. Do not put your writing assignment in quotation marks or bold or underlined or italics because it is not a published work. We only italicize or use quotation marks for published works. So here I just took that same quotation that I found here and I have put it into my document just as it appeared. And if you have watched the Quote Burger videos, you know that I can't just put a quotation in or it's a dropped quotation. So I need to come up with a signal phrase. So the easiest one is saying according to, and then I usually use the author of because you may not know the person by name. I tend to use the publication of the source, and that is Becoming a Master Student. And it is in italics because it is the title of a book. So when I use Becoming a Master Student, I will use italics, and I just highlight that, and then I can hit italics here or up here, the little I. But it went away, going back. And when I am using the Quote Burger format to show that I know what part is what of the Quote Burger, all those elements, I can change the color of my font up here. So I'm going to make that red. Remember, the meat itself is the quote, or the quote itself is the meat. And remember that the period does not go at the end of the quotation, it goes after the parenthetical citation. But I don't know what to put in the parenthetical citation until I have done the works cited. So here is the works cited for my article. I have the last name, comma, first name of the author, the title of the article in quotation marks, the title of the container, which is the book that the article was in. The title of the container goes in italics. Here's the publisher, here's the year it was published, and here are the page numbers. So notice that when we do the parenthetical citation, we just use the last name of the author and the page number, just the one page number where we found the quotation. And we don't use PP. It only goes in the works cited. Another important thing about the works cited is that it must have a hanging indent. So I go back to the line spacing thing. I go to paragraph options. And then I can go to indentation special. Right now it says none. I click hanging, I click OK, and that gave me the hanging indent. Don't try to use the spacebar or tab button for that. So now I know that what goes in the parenthetical citation is the last name of the author, because that's what's first in the works cited for the source, and the page number on which I found that quotation. And I have moved my period that was at the end of the quotation to after the parenthetical citation, because I don't want to stop this flow of ideas until I have finished the full idea, including the quotation and the parenthetical citation. So then I can use that full stop there. Now, so there is my according to, so that's my signal phrase and my quotation and my parenthetical citation. Now, how do I do the rest of it? So once I have my quotation and I've kind of set it up the way I want it, I need to fill all this in. So let me find my signal phrase. Look, I added to my signal phrase because I needed some transition and some better flow. So that's why I have a little extra there. Because once I have my quote, I have to think, what am I going to make this paragraph about? So I'm kind of building out. I find what I want to quote, and then I will figure out what I'm going to say about it. So then I sort of need a broad topic sentence that I can use this quote to use as an example or an illustration of my point. So my point here is going to be, I needed 2 sentences to make my point. I need a tab to indent each paragraph. But you can see I have 2 sentences here. So you can use as many sentences as you need to establish your topic sentence. That is my top bun. Here's my topic sentence and my quote from my expert that helps support that topic sentence. Then afterwards, I need to restate it in my own words, restate what I have just quoted in my own words, or I may just be reacting to it. So it's either restate or react to what you've just quoted. And then say more about it. So I might have this, I could put this, for example, part in green to continue reacting. And I have actually another sentence. It could also be green. It could be a reaction to, or, you know, more illustrations and points that I'm making. Or if you're unsure, you can make the first sentence be the green and then the rest can be your so what, because it all really should flow together. Just make sure your very last sentence gives me a really solid so what. Okay, your last sentence should really connect back to that main idea, that first sentence or two before you quoted something. So to connect back to my main idea, I will usually use a transition word like therefore or thus. Okay, so I started with therefore. The benefits of a college education go well beyond simply getting a good salary. A college education can benefit every aspect of one's life. So that is the quote burger format that you should use to create your own quote burgers. Make sure that you have works cited here with a hanging indent. I'll show you that again. If you don't have a hanging indent, just highlight what you've written there. Go back to your paragraph options, go to special under indentation, and click hanging and click OK. And then you'll have it. To make your works cited on its own page, go to put your cursor in front of the title works cited, click insert, and click page break. Then it's on its own page. To create page numbers, you can go to insert. Don't go to header or footer, go to page numbers, and then click the plain number 3. It has this little hashtag thing, really means number. So put your last name. I'm going to write the word last. Don't write your instructor's last name. Sometimes students do that if I use my last name. So then make it the same font as the rest of the paper, Times New Roman 12 point. And I did that just by highlighting and letting that little pop-up help me. So that's it. So then you won't see the page numbers until you When you're ready to upload, you need to click File,